Hello friends, welcome to JavaFx 3D tutorial. Now we are at the final part of the animation subseries. Here also we will play the multiple animations, and this time since we use parallel transition, all the animation will be played in the same time. Here we are talking about start, color change and blue, right? So this is part of the sequential animation. Now what happens, since all will take place in the same time, the transition will happen like this. So the horizontal animation plays as well as the vertical also plays. So object will displaced in this direction and finally ends up here. Since each animation takes 5 seconds in our previous example, in sequential here, since it is parallel, all animation will take 5 seconds and all are played simultaneously. So when the object moves from top to bottom diagonally, because played simultaneous, right? Not like this, T1, T2, T3, all are playing simultaneous here, so it will go like this, and during the moment itself you will see the color change transition. All right, now we will go here. So we started this subseries with the keyframe animation. Then we started with the transition series. So we use fade transition for doing the blink kind of animation by changing the opacity property or animating the opacity property. After that, we talked about fill transition that is helpful to animate the color change on the object. Then we talked about translate transition. After the translate transition, we continued with rotate transition, and we talked about scale transition based animation. After that, we saw how to animate a shape along a given path. And in the last video, we talked about sequential transition. We will use the same animation classes for our present example. So parallel transition class plays a list of animations simultaneously. The sequential transition class will play the list of animation sequentially, but here this specific class parallel transition, it will play the animation simultaneously. The animation can be timeline based or transition based, like our previous sequential transition. The same way, parallel transition also expect animation that can be a timeline or transition based. In the previous video, we changed the animation, and the same way we can add multiple animations to the observable list exposed by the parallel transition. So the sequential transition class also exposes a observed list to collect all the animation. The same way, parallel transition class also exposes a observable list, and to that list we can add our animation using add or add all method, right? So here if you see, we are creating a parallel transition. We specify the rectangle object, cycle count, auto reverse true, and we pass our animation instances. So since it's a sequential, previously we saw that this is the start location to play the first animation. Here it will be the color transition, and here this will be the third, right? But since here everything is played in sequential, played parallelly, the animation for, say for example, 1 second, it will move from here to here, right? Similarly, the third animation will move from here to here. In combination, if you combine these two, the object will be at this location, right? T1. So this is how the transition takes place, since we are combining the three and final location. So when this transition takes place, since we have fill, that fill color also will sequentially, the fill color also will change when this movement is taking place. Alright, now let's go to the demo and see how it works. Just like how we play, this is a transition class, right? So all transition class supports play method, we can play it. Now we will go to the demo. So we will copy our previous example. Refactor copy, and here we will name it as 17, and instead of sequential, here we will specify it as parallel transition. So we can make use of all these. So code change is required only in this section. So this time we are using the parallel transition. Since sequel transition is not used, we can remove that import. It's not mandatory, just a cleanup. Now we will add entry for parallel transition, JavaFx animation, parallel transition, and we will build it and run our final example. So if you see, all three animations are playing simultaneously, and you can see how it is moving and doing the color transition. So the object is moving diagonally. The object is moving diagonally, right? It's a combination of left to right and top to bottom movement. Since those two animations are played simultaneously, you are seeing the object is moving diagonally. So you can compare this with our previous sequential animation, in that we used the same three transition classes. Here also we are using the same transition classes, and all transition classes time is equal here, 5 seconds, 5 seconds and 5 seconds. So that's why it is matching. Suppose if this fill transition is taking place at 10 seconds, then transition will complete first. Transition will complete, the diagonal transition will complete first, and after that it takes 5 more seconds to finish the color transformation. Let's see that. So color transformation takes more time. Once that is done, and reverse also, it takes some time, then it starts moving towards top left corner. Alright, that's all here in this video. So we are ending this JavaFX 3D course. We will start a new course in the coming days. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.